Great storytelling can come from pretty much anywhere if you really put your mind to it. If you can convey information to somebody in a way that pieces can fit together and a tale forms, the sky is your limit. On Night Mind, I've covered plenty of stuff that uses interesting approaches to modern media as part of its storytelling, but mainly, projects have used sites like YouTube, Tumblr, and Facebook as their main hubs, with only a little bit of Twitter. It wasn't until the sudden rise of the immersive fiction story Dear David that we had really seen a project made entirely on Twitter. When you think of Twitter, you don't think of long, sprawling adventures to follow like we've had in this field on YouTube. Dear David was cool, and I got a lot of requests to talk about it. But you know what I've received a lot more questions about, and in an even shorter time period? A little account you might have heard of by now called The Sun Vanished. First up, let's establish something to really take notice of here that's astounding. Dear David was started on the Twitter account of Adam Ellis, who was already known as a comic artist online and had a good amount of followers by the time his story began. Anytime you have a platform to kick off with, you have a base to build an audience from very quickly. The Sun Vanished appeared with nothing. Just a series of tweets on April 30th, born of one man's dire need to gain a sense of control in a massive emergency. Help. It's late in the morning and still dark outside. I can hear the tornado sirens in the next county over, but the weather radar is clear. Where's the sun?
This afternoon, panic is taking hold on the nation in response to the sudden disappearance of the sun, with violent riots taking place in just about every major city. We are receiving an influx of reports of ransacking and looting from New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, Dallas, and Washington, D.C., with hundreds more isolated incidents coming in hourly. The president made a public statement this morning urging people to remain calm and stay in their homes. Meanwhile, experts are claiming this phenomenon to be an event similar to New England's Dark Day in 1780, and that things will return back to normal.
The setup was instant, well-composed, and to the point, and it arrived to an audience of 0 followers. As of my writing this, the account currently has 296,000 people following it. The power of good storytelling can be very, very strong. So the sun went out on the morning of April 30th, 2018 and was reported by the news. What happened next? The account holder, who we'll call TSV for short, said the power kept going out and he was hearing noises. A recording was made of events outside for us to witness. Shots can be heard outside by May 1st, probably nighttime on the same day everything began. The newsfeed stopped coming in and the TV signal quit entirely shortly after. TSV asked the new followers he had by this point if he should go outside. The vote was an overwhelming yes. He reported, "I went outside. I saw something out there I can't really explain, but I can show you." TSV tells us that he looked for stars or planets, but the sky was pitch black. All he could see was that red light flashing in the woods. He replies to a viewer asking if there was anything else and if he has supplies to wait this out. I thought I saw some figures close by, but it is so dark I feel like my mind is playing tricks on me. I don't have much food stocked up, but after this experience with being outside for only a few minutes, I do not want to drive into town for supplies. On May 2nd, we're told, Day 3, still no sign of daylight. It is getting colder. A person just ran by on my street. 2 of the same flashing lights I saw yesterday were following him. They were gone by the time I got my phone out to record. On May 3rd, a new message accompanied by video. Something just flew over my house. I couldn't see it. Too dark outside, but a wave of heat just came over me. Feels like the temperature increased by like 10 or 15 degrees. It's shortly after this time on the same day that a new development occurs. TSV manages to reach out to somebody that he knows at last and get a response. His friend, Danyan, says, "Dude, please tell me you are still alive." "Yes, I'm alive. Where the hell have you been? Why did it take you this long to reach me after I called you like 40 times? I'm sorry, but my phone was dead and I was just now able to start charging it. You're still at your house, right?" "Yes." "Okay, good. I'm still a 2 days drive away, but I'm coming to you." "I'm not really sure if that is a good idea or not." "Why? What have you seen?" "Dude, you have no fucking idea." Right after this, TSV reports in again. Now we have another problem. This guy has been standing completely still with his back towards me. I have no idea how long he's been standing there. TSV sends Danyan the photo of the man frozen still outside. His reply is immediate. "Get away from the window. Keep all lights off. Do not talk to them or let them in. And if you see any flashing lights, hide." TSV looks out the window again. Whoever was standing outside is gone now. Moments later, we find out where they went. TSV stays hidden in the house for 2 days after this, just letting followers know he'll be okay if things come to a fight and, again, asking if anybody knows anything or can help at all. Emergency lines aren't responding and there's no getting to the radio. On May 5th, a direct message is received by a follower. "Hey brother, I'm from British Columbia. I don't know much, but I do know that you should never look into the red light. Ever. If you do, you become like the guy who was at your door." This is followed up a short time after by a message from Danyan. "So, I have good news and bad news. Good news is I'm closer to you now. Bad news is I'm out of fuel. There are no active gas stations anywhere close to me. All of the power's down and all the gas stations nearby are electric gas pumps." "How far away are you?" "Probably still 8 or 9 hours away." Caught facing the possible demise of the only friend in contact right now, TSV turns to the audience to ask what he should do after overwhelming replies fighting to go after him or stay home. The majority votes by a slim margin to stay home. We find out shortly after that this was probably the right call, as TSV writes, "Someone is screaming outside." If you're already intrigued and want to know more, I assure you, it just gets better from here. There aren't experiences quite like this online. Not this captivating, not this fear-inducing, and certainly not this well-crafted. The videos, the updates, the photos, the tale of survival and slowly discovering what's happening outside, it's all top-notch. My story beginning summary is just to get you started. You really do want to embark on this journey on your own, and the best part is that the Twitter account is entirely composed for this purpose. Simply scrolling down to the point you left off at will give you the continuation you need. In this way, it's almost like an ebook, but with photos, video, audio, and in live time. You don't need to go through a massive amount of tweets either. I was able to complete my first run of The Sun Vanished up to the current day in about an hour, and several points gave me that supreme satisfaction I've had watching moments in certain web series where a creator just nails it. When you appreciate horror and dark media, there are certain scenes in movies and images that give you the best goosebumps and this awesome feeling of dread, and The Sun Vanished has that at more than a few points. The series is a thrill, part mystery, part survival horror, and part psychological horror. Not all humans can be trusted here, which is really tough to deal with for TSV considering so few humans seem to even be alive in the chaos. Or are still themselves. This is one of the few projects where I can firmly say nothing is done wrong, or could actually be done much better. Maybe the worst criticism I can give is that some very dangerous choices are left up to Twitter to decide, but that's part of the appeal. You don't just get to follow along in live time as TSV struggles to survive this apocalypse scenario. You get to help decide his actions and see the rewards or consequences. In this way, it's almost like a Twitter version of Until Dawn. Trust is such a huge theme in the series too, making for excellent tension and suspense. Can we trust Danyan will survive until he makes it to the house? Can TSV trust anybody that he meets or what he finds outside? Can he trust us to make the right call to keep him and any potential companions alive? When you get deeper into the story and see why you should never look into the flashing lights, you'll understand the tenuous nature of trust in The Sun Vanished and the real survival horror aspect of TSV's journey. True natures. What are they in this universe, and how far are you willing to go with a person who might turn out to be something you should never have trusted? There really isn't much more I can say about The Sun Vanished that isn't praise. When it comes to a story like this, I can't do the usual Nightmind thing. I don't have anything to explain or piece together for you about the series, because it's very straightforward. A video longer than this would just be me reading off the tweets and describing the things in the videos and photos, which you can very easily go through on your own and get a much stronger impact from. There is a lot of mystery and a lot of questions to be answered, but the form they take is in the same style you would experience in a horror movie. Really, this is just an awesome linear storytelling ride to jump on. It's dark, it's suspenseful, it's engaging, it's captivating. One of the best parts is that the storytelling is quite open in this. We don't know what's going to come next, but there's a wide world of mystery and chaos to explore. The Sun Vanished has really reminded me of a thought I've had before about the expansion of immersive fiction projects. You could use a Twitter account, just a Twitter account, to pull off this crazy big story and make a wildly successful project. The Sun Vanished has proven it even more than Dear David has. The Sun Vanished came from absolutely nothing to being nearly 300,000 followers strong now. Creative power and the viral nature of interesting things on Twitter is all it took. I anticipate amazing things to come from The Sun Vanished. I've already been quite impressed, and if you are too, then jump on board and follow along. Remember, we left off on May 6th with the video of a man screaming outside after Twitter chose for TSV to stay home. Things really pick up from here in exciting and terrifying ways, some of which you probably won't expect. And that's the final bit of praise I'll give this series before we wrap up. The Sun Vanished never stops surprising its viewers. That's it for now, everyone. Thanks to all of you for viewing, and thanks especially to my supporters on Patreon. I would make a joke about them being the sun that doesn't vanish from my sky, but this is Nightmind. You guys are my supermoon. Thanks for joining me in the dark again this evening. Once more, I'm Nick Nocturne, and unlike the sun in this very dark alternate reality, I'll be seeing you again real soon. Sleep tight.